And welcome in. Happy Friday, everybody. Welcome to the Nick Club Wrestling Happy Hour. I am one half of your host and virtual bartender, Mr. Nick Teodoro. Joining me, as always, is my tag team partner in life, my wife, Miss Nicole. What are you having this evening?
Oh, you know me, my usual Tito's, orange and cran. Mr. Nick, tell the people what you're drinking and our three things for the show.
I am drinking my J-Lore 7 Oaks Cabernet as usual. Well, first, before I do that, hit the old like if you are new here. Please subscribe. We love having you. If you're a regular, we love having you back. Well, Nikki, the new Bloodline are running through the WWE roster. Drew McIntyre has garnered a truce, and we have our AEW World's End predictions. It's Friday, December 27th, 2024, and this is the Nick Club Wrestling Happy Hour. Nikki, welcome back in. Happy Friday, everybody. Again, welcome back to the Nick Club Wrestling Happy Hour. Hit the old like and subscribe if you haven't already. Nikki, it's been almost, it's been a week.
It's been a week. It's been a week, and we just, when Nick hit the intro music, he's like, oh, this is the last time. Like, this is our last Friday Happy Hour of 2024. We started this adventure. I guess we'll go into more of that another episode, but it's been a crazy, crazy year. I can't believe this is our last Friday Happy Hour.
Exactly. Well, last Friday Happy Hour, but not the last Happy Hour, because we are back here on Tuesday, New Year's Eve, 2024. We are reviewing the year in wrestling for WWE AEW and mixing a little bit of Impact in there for some of the folks who've had some successes there, but we're gonna review it all. Who are male and female wrestlers of the year, our feuds, matches, PLEs, you name it. We want to hear from all of you. We may try out some different things and have a little bit of a free-for-all with the call-ins. You just never know, trying out some different things, but we will be back here on this Tuesday for the year in review, so we hope to catch you then. But Nikki, that is Tuesday, and that is not today. So today is Friday, and let's get to it. Let's kick it off as we always do with my new favorite segment of the show. Hit it with Nikki's News. Nikki's non-kayfabe news is back after a week in hiatus.
I know, we're back, baby. I guess we're starting, our news is a little sad. I feel like it kind of has been lately. We're talking about some cancellations. Officially announced, it officially happened, the last episode of Rampage. It, died a very, very slow death. And doing a little reminiscing, a little research, the very first episode of Rampage was August 31st of 2021. Christian Cage won the Impact TNA Heavyweight Championship from Kenny Omega of the very first episode. How crazy pants is that? Their second episode was CM Punk's return to pro wrestling. Like, crazy back-to-back weeks. And now it's just like an afterthought that people were up in arms that Toni Storm's return match back in AEW for whatever, 4 months? September to December? 4 months? Was on Rampage. Everyone was like, why are you putting her on Rampage? So it started off real hot and real high, and it died a death. Maybe a death by 1,000 cuts, maybe.
Yeah, it's definitely been overdue, I would say, that this is going to happen. The other thing is, I look at it as a positive light, because first off, it's Fridays at 10, which I'm already half asleep already. So it's been a long work week. I'm already tired. So it wasn't the greatest time slot to ever really make it anyhow. But to me, it gives more of an opportunity to the rest of the roster, because again, one less show for an hour, even 2 hours, whatever it is, it gives more opportunity to the shows that we watch, Dynamite, Fight was it Saturday Night's Fight Night? What's it called now?
Collision.
I always called it Saturday Night's Fight. Saturday.
No, I got rid of that, unfortunately.
They shouldn't. Well, he pays for everything else. He's got the whole GNR catalog, Guns N' Roses, for
true.
Like literally the whole preview video for this one was Welcome to the Jungle after he just did November Rain in November. But I digress. I think this opens it up to more of an opportunity, again, to do better booking with the roster in a 2-hour time span on these other shows. So I think there's a lot of positive that can come from this being this happening.
I think it helps the live attendance a little bit because, you know, we went to the collision taping and we have gone to a Dynamite tasting. You know what I mean?
Dynamite tasting.
We went to and then the mood on booth was Rampage afterwards. And like sometimes it's such a long card that they're pre-taping all these shows. And then sometimes the crowd's not hot for it because after I just watched a hot Dynamite and then you're watching Rampage, you're just kind of like, well,
yeah, you come down from the high.
Yeah, like, so I don't know. We'll see.
Kind of like when they did that with Sunday Night Heat for the longest time.
Oh, I love Sunday Night Heat. But again, it's the same thing after a while. It was super hot. And same with like Superstars, Main Event, and all that other stuff. It starts hot. And then it's like, all right, now you're just putting your like C and D players on there. And it's like, people are like, oh.
Yeah. No, it's fair.
But again, Friday night at 10 is a tough spot.
Yeah, for anybody. So, I don't know. We want to hear from all you. What do you think about Rampage being canceled? Let us know in the comments and chat below. Ed's chiming in. Regular Ed. Oh no, what will I ever do on Friday nights?
You'll be here at happy hour with us and then go to bed early.
Steven, Boop chiming in. If only there was wrestling we could watch on Fridays.
If only. What a concept. Early Friday wrestling?
It's crazy, but yeah. It's sad, but
RIP Rampage, we barely knew ye.
Well, Nikki, well put.
Rest in peace.
I almost had a meme of Tony Khan in there, but I just didn't have enough time to get it ready for the show.
Oh my goodness.
But yeah, so we move on from, well, no, you have more news. Sorry, it would have been a nice segue. It would have been a nice segue. I had a good segue in mind. But regardless, well, Nikki.
Crossing the line to what was called a quiet cancellation. WWE did not do a tribute to the Troop show in 2024, which they've done a tribute to the Troop show since 2003, whether it was like they were doing first it was like live at bases and then it was back home in arenas and there was just like all troops in the crowd. Then it was like a SmackDown like themed show. But this is the first year since 2003 that they haven't done a tribute to the troops. And I don't know if it was Meltzer. I think it was Meltzer said it was quietly canceled.
Well, I always liked this. Like this, I mean, it was kind of hokey to some extent because you always knew like all the faces were gonna win or something. Like, you know, John Cena or whoever, Cody Rhodes this year was gonna come out and hit all their spots, and it just kind of, you know, it's a feel good thing, especially, you know, knowing what they sacrificed to be out there to get them, like, to have them be entertained even for one night or whatever it is. It seems like it's a weekend that they're out there. They're out there for a while. Yeah. But adversely, I get it. I understand, you know, what Triple H is trying to do. We've talked about this with, you know, vacation and taping the last 2 weeks, which has made the last 2 weeks for WWE a little bit difficult for us to try and we're keeping up the pace. And that's kind of why tonight's show is going to be a little bit more heavy AEW oriented, just because it's a little bit more recently. But yeah, I get the idea of just kind of, again, giving more people the time off and that luxury.
I don't want to say, has it always been though in December? I don't remember. Again, I wasn't really watching when I was based out by this point. But was it always a December thing? But also, again, I think it was Meltzer.
For the most part.
That it was a Vince McMahon JBL idea. And they're slowly maybe backing away from things that were like Vince's grandchildren.
Yeah.
I know you can't. There's so much things you can back away from, but I know like we've gone to house shows and they always like they have blah 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 from infantry blue,
yeah,
and then everyone stands up and claps and cheers for the men and women in the service that are at the show. So I hope they continue. I know we haven't been to a WWE show in a while, so I hope they still do that.
You could also do that. I mean, I don't know if it's right, but like maybe do that around like July 4th.
Yeah.
Maybe make it a little bit
like,
more.
I don't know, maybe next year they'll do something different. Give it a different
Ring to
spin.
it. Yeah.
Different, a fresh coat of paint, but maybe they just want to wash the Vince off it a little bit.
Yeah. I don't know. What do you all think? Let us know. Do you want to see this come back? Did you like the idea, or was it just kind of a filler?
And also, so like again, like maybe every year, maybe it loses its kind of luster a little bit. Like with AEW, like Fight for the Fallen and like Fighter Fest, like those early gimmick things, like had like they were. I believe AEW they donated money, and then Fighter Fest was this spoof off the fire or whatever that thing was supposed to be. But now they do it every year. I'm like, Fighter Fest doesn't make sense anymore. Like that's not the topic that it was 4 years ago now at this point. Like, I said,
watch the Vince.
Watch
the Vince. Yeah,
get
you need to watch the Vince.
What is it? The Silkwood shower? When they just like scrub them off. But on that note. But yeah, 2 shows that had kind of, just slowly.
Just kind of fading out, yeah.
Just fading out, really.
But again, I mean, it doesn't necessarily mean the worst. It's just, again, if there's less program, less hours, then you have to maximize your time, and that's what makes for a good program. That's what we've seen the last couple of weeks with Raw being 2 hours, and now everything's gonna be 3 hours. Seems like everything's gonna be 3 hours, so I don't know.
Oh yeah, that's what Emma's saying.
But Nikki, speaking about what is going to 3 hours, nice segue into we're gonna go back to last Friday, which
You
well,
never give me an outro.
We'll make a new outro for 2025.
No, I just want you to replay the song again. But whatever, SmackDown takeaways. Wow.
Unbelievable.
Exactly. Everyone's upset at you.
Unbelievable. Well, let's get to it. So SmackDown, we're going to try and lead this all into our big themes for the week. So SmackDown, very heavily Bloodline focused at the beginning, at the bookends, at the beginning and end, which seemed like Raw was the same way as well. So we're going to take that into our Raw takeaways. So we'll touch upon a little bit of the Bloodline saga where Drew McIntyre on SmackDown basically brokered a truce between the new Bloodline. But first, let's kick it into Naomi and Bianca Belair retaining the tag titles on SmackDown. Again, finally, which I feel like 30 days has eclipsed, whatever, passed, whatever the word is. And now all of a sudden we're starting to see, like, now she's just had to defend the title because Jade was out for this long. I don't know.
I feel like you're missing the chunk of this. Because it was last week that all this was just like, I'm going to have to strip you.
Oh,
and then, yeah, it was last week. He's like, I'm going to have to strip you. And then, because it was really weird because it was right after Drew Claymored her husband. And now, sorry. Tag out. And so we're like, her husband just got beat up. But anywho,
that's why she fact checks me. That's why we're here.
So Naomi said last week that she was like, or I guess 2 weeks ago now, she'll step in so Bianca doesn't have to forfeit the belt. So walking out, and I think that kind of shows the picture that you're showing all this was like, all right, well then you have to, the two of you will defend them next week. So when they entered the ring, Bianca had both belts. She was holding both of them.
Yes.
And then after they won the match, then you see Bianca handing the belt over to Naomi, like, hey,
you earned it.
You earned it. We won this together. You get to hold the belt now. So then you see the two of them holding up the belts.
Right. So now she's accepted Naomi as her partner, at least temporarily.
Yeah.
So it brings back to the question, well, first off, when will we see Jade Cargill return? Because the last we saw her, she was planted out on this car and attacked by someone. So first off, first question I have for you, Nikki, is when does Jade Cargill come back?
Rumble. She just tweeted, and again, if I wasn't working all day today, I would have dug into it more. But I believe I don't know if it was X or Instagram or something, but she like tweeted like a photo of like her. It was like a close up of her face, but there was like blood on the side, and I don't remember if there was like a something, like a quote. But I believe she'll be back sooner rather than later. And again, Rumble's in February. Could you wait again? I know, Steven, the 30th between February 1st. I don't like it in February.
January 32nd.
Ugh, but like, could you wait till February for her to be on TV? I think so. If it's gonna lead, like, I would like Naomi to be like, because I still think it's Naomi. I would love for like Naomi to be in the Royal Rumble, and Jade comes out, and then Jade just like attacks her, and then Bianca's like, "What are you doing?" And she's like, "She's the one that attacked me." And we're like, "Ah." So.
Well, that is the question. Who would be revealed as Jade Cargill's backstage attacker? Because in theory, right, storyline-wise, yeah, Naomi makes the most sense if that's...
Naomi, and she did it for Bianca. I'm not going to do a Rikishi voice, but y'all know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I could totally see that being... I mean, that seems like the most logical, but it could be returning someone. Could it be like a returning Charlotte by chance just because... Or someone who's trying, maybe from NXT, trying to make a name for themselves. I don't know who. Maybe not that Roxanne Perez would be the one to do it, but it'd be kind of ironic.
I think it has to be someone already there. It has to be someone already on SmackDown. Like, I don't. Again, I think it's very much Charlotte Tiffy. I don't think you're gonna have Charlotte beat up. Like. No one saw her backstage to push Jade off a thing and then like disappear. Like, it has to be that someone's already there. It's not like Charlotte hopping in, pushing her off a thing, and then running away. I mean, I could be wrong, but
that leads to the idea to more of a NXT person, because it's like, all right, I'm waiting for
again, you're not gonna have some random person show up backstage. It's gotta be someone that's already there.
We disagree on this because I think it could be someone from NXT to try and come up as well. Yeah. Betting odds say Naomi. Who do you all think? Let us know in the chats. But it could be someone else, a little McSwervesteen. McSwervesteen. I don't know. We want to hear from all you. What are some other options if it's not Naomi?
I don't know. I don't.
Could it be Blair Davenport? She used to attack people in backstage and NXT. You told me
that.
Exactly. So maybe that's
for you to insert her into this big storyline for no apparent reason.
I'm just throwing out, letting the world, throwing a match and letting it burn a little bit and see what happens.
Yeah, no, I agree with Steven. Like, Naomi did it, but it was like, again, it's
Naomi under orders from Bianca.
It's gonna be like the Triple H, because like the convoluted mess that it was is like Rikishi did it because basically Triple H got him to do it, but he said he did it for The Rock. So I think it's gonna be like Naomi did it, and then it's gonna be revealed that like Bianca had Naomi do
it. Yeah, because Naomi's never been one to do anything on her own.
I feel like with NXT, they rehashed so many of Shawn Michaels' storylines. Like, why not do a Triple H one on Main? But with, like, the women.
Well, it seems like he has.
Again, then, like, Naomi having those bloodline ties that they don't, talk about at all. When she, asking for the belt when her husband got beat up, and the person that beat up her husband was really like 2 people away from her. If someone beat you up, Babe, I would have been you.
Oh, well, thanks.
I will go after Drew McIntyre.
To hear that?
Your honor. What's the muscle of this charade? Yes. Parade? Faction?
Yeah, whatever you'd like to call it. However you want to put it. But yeah.
I am the Big Daddy Cool to your HBK.
You didn't want to go with the Triple H?
No.
Even though that was a little, whatever.
No.
I digress. Well, you made a good segue for me because you were talking about Drew McIntyre. So, Drew McIntyre, we touched upon it earlier. At the beginning of SmackDown, comes out, cuts a promo on Solo Sikoa, and basically has a confrontation explaining to Solo that you did screw me out of the WWE title. at one point in time, and I still owe you payback. But ultimately, I hate Roman as well, and CM Punk, which is really his two main villains, his two main foils for him right now are Roman and CM Punk. So because Solo is going after Roman, he's okay leaving Solo be for the time being. So a truce is garnered by, or brokered, that's the word I should use, brokered by Drew McIntyre on SmackDown, which bleeds us into the into a match in the beginning of SmackDown, ultimately showing the Bloodline defeating LA Knight, Andrade, and Apollo Crews. I guess he's back now on the main roster, kind of.
He's been.
I know he has been.
He brought him up with Baron Corbin and then released Baron Corbin. Like, I would have released. Not that I want anyone to lose their jobs remotely, but I'm more invested in Baron Corbin than I am Apollo Crews.
Yeah, true. So,
anyway,
that being said, it leads to Monday Night Raw opening because Drew McIntyre eventually gets driven away later in SmackDown by Jimmy Uso and his crutch. So Raw opens with Drew coming out and being confronted by Sami Zayn. And because Sami is the avenger of the Usos, it seems like, or the Bloodline,
we'll
he keeps... we are getting to it. And he just keeps inserting himself as the not-so enforcer of the old OG Bloodline for some reason. And they cut a promo, they go back and forth, and ultimately, as we've said on the show numerous times, like the great Marshall Mathers rapper, sometimes you got a lot to say,
but nothing comes out when you move your lips, just a bunch of gibberish. But you forgot about Dre.
But they forgot about Jay.
Nowadays, everybody wanna talk, think they got something to say, but nothing comes out when they move their lips. Just a bunch of gibberish, and motherfuckers act like they forgot about Dre. Nowadays, everybody wanna talk, think they got something to say, but nothing comes out when they move their lips. Just a bunch of gibberish, and motherfuckers act like they forgot about Dre.
So, Jey Uso returns after a couple-week hiatus on Raw, and we see him with his boy, Sami Uso, who's now got his own merch the last couple of weeks.
He's had this shirt, and I can't... He's giving this, like, impassioned speech, and then he calls himself Sami Uso, and it immediately took me out of it. I was like, no! Like, that's cute you have on your shirt, but to reference yourself as Sami Uso in this impassioned speech to Drew McIntyre, I was just like, ugh. I was so, like, turned off after he said that, and then I kind of, like, checked out of this segment, to be honest.
Yeah, he just comes across so like the Seth Rollins thing. It's like you're naive. It's the same idea. He's like you don't realize how naive, or you just welcome him back. And ironically, this leads to what ends up being the main event of the evening: Drew McIntyre and Sami Zayn, the OG Bloodline Avenger.
You never beat, and then Drew's like, you never beat me, because obviously Drew beat him at Saturday night.
Exactly. He's never beaten Drew McIntyre. So this leads to the main event, like I said, which ultimately sees Sami Zayn fall, shocker, to Drew McIntyre, who's arguably the hottest wrestler in WWE right now. And after the match, there's a little hijinks because Drew is not done with Sami, but Jay comes in to make the save. But before Jay can make the full save, the truce that was brokered on last Friday evening comes back to haunt the OG Bloodline. And this is how it went down.
You random song.
I know. I thought it was gonna be a
But,
random night. But Nikki, the new Bloodline finished.
Well,
strong,
so I would give
tall.
it to, because in the beginning, like you've shown in your video, like Jade fights back for a while, and then it takes the one super kick from Jacob, and then he's out, and then he gets the Samoan spike, and then he's done, and then they beat up Sami, and then Sami Uso is trying to take care of and protect his Us. But again, it's just like Jake, because like the Usos are so known for their super kicks, and then for him to take just the one from Jacob and go down, like, again, I can't wait for them to just unleash Jacob proper. But yeah, no, I think the Drew New Bloodline alliance is going to be, I think there's obviously more the dealings to be done. Like, hey, like, we got you this time. Like, is Drew showing up tonight for something? And we'll get to that whenever. But
well, that is my question, Nikki. How does Drew McIntyre and the New Bloodline interact moving forward? Because again, you saw in the video, he kind of just sideways, like Nakamura did 2 weeks ago or whatever it was with the mist.
Nakamura did a cooler. He's like, I'm gonna get.
Well, because he got missed.
No, he just let it ooze out of his mouth.
Yeah, because he's got missed. Drew McIntyre hasn't missed. Would you like him to drool? He could drool McIntyre.
I want him.
That's his new name.
No, I want him to put Alka-Seltzer in his mouth like they do in the Little Giants and be like intimidation, and then they foam.
Drool McIntyre.
Yeah.
We're getting that over. But yes, I mean, because it's like the enemy of my enemy is my friend is kind of the mentality. So how does Drew McIntyre see this? Like, he's kind of a lone wolf in this whole thing. Sorry, Baron Corbin.
No, we barely knew you. Not to lie. But no, I think it's going to be very much like a tit for tat. They're going to protect each other during things. And I think does Drew interfere at the tribal comment, because he was like, you leave your bloodline at home, I'll leave my bloodline at home, and then Drew is not part of the bloodline, so then Drew comes out and he costs Roman like Solo cost him.
I do think that
like something's got to happen. I don't think this is going to be resolved on SmackDown.
I do feel like the Ulafala makes so much more sense on Solo right now, just because you could do more. And the Heyman speech that happened at the Netflix show, I think there's a big turn happening. I think Heyman's going to lead the new Bloodline as the new Samoan SWAT team, and that's kind of how he's going to do it, because he knows how dangerous they are, and and all that stuff moving forward. I think there's a big turn happening on that end, but that's a good theory, is that he helps Solo because he's not involved in either of the Bloodline storylines, and he hates Roman so much. Yeah, that would be an interesting, dynamic to add to this, because who knows if Rock's coming back for Mania and that this storyline is going to continue for a while. Keeping the Ulafala on Solo for the time being at least keeps him relevant. I don't know if he's just going to go into the mid card and then take out LA Knight.
Yeah, I think that's the one thing. Like, if you drag this out, and again, we're going to talk about this 4,000 more times in the next 4 months, but when you if that's the Mania match, Solo, Roman, there's so many other rumors and things and swirls of who's going to show up, who's not going to show up, who's jockeying for, Mania. But, like, once that feud's over, once Roman officially beats Solo, officially takes the Ulafala, officially becomes the head of the table again, where's that poor little pickle going to go? I think he's going to fall dramatically. Because, again, you're feuding with Roman Reigns, who's been there, between John Cena and Cody Rhodes. Like, that's been your golden boy, heel or not. Like, that is your bread and butter. And you're going into this tremendous feud with him, and then you lose. And you lose everything, because you're going to lose the bloodline. I think Jacob, you go Solo and does all these things. Like, where's Solo going to go?
Yeah, he gains so much more.
He's gonna have to go away for a little bit, and like maybe a slight rib package, or he needs to that poor little baby. I don't think it's going to fare well once he's out of the bloodline.
Or they move him to Raw. I mean, he might be a tag team with Tama Tonga.
He might have to go to NXT for a little bit.
No, I don't know about that.
I don't know.
That's
maybe
a little...
but you
Let's
have
not
this hot story with like, you know, like you're the little brother to the Usos. You got beat up by Roman Reigns. He takes everything back from you. And then Heyman's gonna leave. Like, I don't know, like putting him like back in the like United States. I don't know. Because then would anything, not taking away anything from the IC belt or the US belt, but being this feud with Roman Reigns, having this Uga fella holding it over him, saying that you're better than Roman Reigns and you have all this despite of Roman, and then you're going for fighting Nakamura for the US belt, like that feels like you got knocked down.
Yeah, well, yeah, you did, but because he's gotten knocked. Yeah,
but then under season, I don't know. I could be wrong, but I feel like I'm worried Solo post. And we were watching whatever, and I was like, I missed when they brought Solo up, and he wasn't where, you know, he was just like the street champ, and he had his big
feet.
afro.
His feet out. I know you hate feet being out
feet,
open.
but I love his really big afro.
Yeah, but they'll get up again, Ed says.
I know, like there's people that have done it, but it makes me worried. And I know he's gotten better on the mic, and he's doing all these things. I'm just, I worry.
That's fair. That's fair. So again, that closed out and bookended Raw, Monday Night Raw. A lot of other things did happen. What a comment. He's tub thumping. Yes, we'll be singing Chumbawamba. That'd be a good one to throw back.
We have so many old.
Oh man, we could do that.
Show.
Giving
him ideas, Ed.
Calm down. Chumbawamba. But Monday Night Raw. Just any other takeaways on Raw? We did see Dexter Lumis and The Miz, which ended in a DQ and just kind of craziness hijinks. Kind of what you'd expect from a taped Raw. Like they were trying to get everybody in and kind of a double.
I'm worried at this 50-50 booking crap on my little or the DQs and the Dusties. Like, we've had that discussion last time, but like Lumis, like his entrance, like, God damn, that guy's a star. Like,
well, what's crazy about it is like you had them look strong with the Miz without Uncle Howdy there. So like the Wyatts do look stronger. The Final Testament looks even dumber now. Like you just had them win even against you all, and then now you're gonna have this situation where Loomis is in a one-on-one, which he can take the L against the Miz, world champion. I don't know why in this situation you have all the Wyatts fight, or not all the Wyatts, 4/5, whatever it is, of the Wyatts fight off the whole Final Testament and both Paul Ellering and Scarlett. So it just kind of looks.
You have Nikki to combat Scarlett.
Right, but still Paul Ellering's there, and he just came back and threw the powder in the eyes. He should be worth something, right? He's valuable. So, like, to have the numbers game, it should have, like, he could kick somebody in the nuts or something. I don't know. It seemed bad.
I just heard that no one in this feud looks good, and I want to root for both factions. But I feel like how they are being booked right now, I can't.
Yeah, it hasn't been great. We're hoping.
We say this every week. We want to cheer for Karrion. We want the Wyatt stuff to do good. And I'm just like, ugh.
Steven said the Wyatts are one of the big disappointments given the year that and the hype they had. Yeah, no, it is, and well, we just hope 2024 is a bigger deal for them. But and then just wrapping up, Io Sky got inserted into the Women's Intercontinental Title tournament match. She advances, so those will be wrapping up in the next couple weeks. So we'll touch upon those a little bit more.
I know you want to move on, but God damn it, Natty.
I know, poor Natty.
She touched it. Again, don't touch belts. If you're fighting for a belt, do not touch it. Don't even look about it. Don't even think about touching it. She touched it and she lost. And it's like,
it's like The Rock. Can I touch it? Can I hold it? Can I hold yours? You can hold mine.
No, I don't know.
It's awkward. But we digress. If there's anything that we missed that you thought was significant on Monday Night Raw, please let us know in the comments. We'll read them out. If you want to call in, we'll touch upon it in our call-in segment.
Huh?
Exactly. But we are going to wrap up the Monday Night Raw takeaway segment of this show. And as we move on, we're going to actually skip through Dynamite because, I don't know if you know this, but highlight of our show tomorrow is World's End. I thought it was at World's End, but it's actually World's End.
At World's End, the Pirates of the Caribbean.
I know. That's why I was really upset that I didn't see any Pirates of the Caribbean themed stuff here. Because I was really excited. Or someone like John Moxley in a pirate hat, or at least a Christmas hat with a little bald head.
Well, I'm wearing my Moxley shirt with the fork in it. If that makes you feel any better.
Show it.
Come on. It's my John Moxley has a fork in it, and I can't really. It says "you sick," and then the mouth is covered to see like you. Sick. Can't really. I feel like I'm flashing everybody. Sorry, it's aggressive. But it also censor your moves. Nick's wearing his Jay White.
I got my Jay White shirt.
So we're dueling.
But that does not. We are not going to reveal our predictions just yet.
Just because we're wearing these shirts.
Yes. Just because we're wearing the shirts doesn't mean that there's any predictions particularly. That being said, Nikki.
Yes.
Tomorrow is a big pay-per-view, not PLE. They call them pay-per-views in AEW. That's kind of a thing there. Because you pay to view them. Back in my time, you used to pay to view pay-per-views.
You had to use your phone and call
people.
And you had to type in the code of what pay-per-view you were trying to get. And I remember that's when I actually used to call. Because I would take Dad's credit card and it would order pay-per-views. And then...
Ed, because you pay per viewing.
And then the nerve wrack when you call and it says confirmed, and then you're staring at the screen waiting for it to click on, and then like I don't know about you, but I would have such anxiety waiting for like the little like that blue screen with like the FBI warning that the pop.
Oh yeah.
Like, oh thank God I ordered it.
But yes, you got it.
Got it.
And we ordered it. And we're here.
We're here.
So we're here for tomorrow's World's End. AEW World's End pay-per-view. There is 8 matches on the card. We are going to try and get
8 more to be announced.
Yeah, no, it's literally 47 more. It's actually the Continental Classic is going to happen.
In reverse order, chronological order again.
You're going to take the guy with the most points, divide it by 4, do a tag match in a fatal 4-way. If you didn't get pinned, you get 0.25 points. Multiply that by the 600% chance that you have it winning, and Scott Steiner wins it all.
Oh, I have the brain that you do. Oh, God.
I had a good drop of that, and then he passed away, and I couldn't use it, and it was really, really sad.
I think we can use it. I feel like
now I can.
Well, I feel like a lot of people kind of came out and was just like, Sid kind of got a lot of crap, but he wasn't bad. He was actually bad.
Yeah, he was a good wrestler. I always was a big fan.
I just like rewatching, because you know, again, I say this every week in the show, we fall asleep to wrestling, and I fell asleep, and then I woke up because his music was playing, because it was like the Hitchcock. I can't remember.
Psycho?
Yes, it was the Psycho music. Well, obviously Psycho said it was like, but it was like more annoying. So like it woke me up and I was like, shut this. I like fast forward till he was in the ring.
This 96 Sid is a different kind of cat.
I love how wrestlers always say that. It's like, oh, he was a different cat.
Yeah. Seriously.
Different cat.
Well, that being said, it's a different kind of pay-per-view. It's World's End. It's an AEW pay-per-view. You know it's going to go. It's a marathon. So There's a lot of matches. So let's catch you up on 7 of the 8 of them, because we don't, some of them have like little tournament style stuff going on with the Continental Classic, which you can order at your local diner.
Because of eggs.
Just make sure that your waitress knows whether you like, the Taylor ham well done, or how you like
pork roll,
depending
on your geographical location.
Exactly. But that being said, let's remind you of what TK booked for this PPV.
Monsters in my head are scared of love. Falling people, listen up. It's never too late to change your love. So don't let them steal your life. It's revolution. It's revolution.
Get ready, Nikki.
Yes.
We kick it off.
Kick it.
Well, I already revealed it. With the Tijuana street fight.
With the ladies.
We always love starting with the ladies.
I think actually, like, Thunder Rosa's makeup looks incredible in this photo. But sweet little baby's not winning. I don't like.
First off, it's pronounced Thunder Rosa.
Yeah, I'm not good. I know you're weirdly in love with her, and whatever floats your boat, babe. I just
like the way she does her little videos, and she's.
I love her. I like her as a person. But like all the stuff you kind of see her doing, like not on TV. Like I don't think I've ever been like Team Thunder Rosa. I don't know. She does like goes to like her and Danhausen stuff really made me laugh. Does mean it would click with me as a character, I guess. Again, I think she's gonna put on a great match. As long as no one's sandbagging each other, I guess. I think Mariah does need that dance partner in the ring with her to kind of carry her through. Because I still feel like Mariah's still learning. Is this where not Saraya? Oh, I almost called her Zendaya too. What's her name? Oh my gosh. CM Punk's Straight Edge Society. Oh, Serena Deeb. Ugh. I'm not a fan. Like, is this the spot that she would normally be in? Just like they already had that match. Mariah already beat Serena. Oh, well, like a so maybe it's again she's the next veteran that they. Yeah, I think they're just kind of feeding her people until we get through whatever Toni Storm has to work out in her brains. See, Steven's got a good point. Thunder Rosa says Toni break glass in case of emergency women's wrestler. Yeah, like reliable. Now that makes me like I can't go down that rabbit hole with you, Edward. We can call him later. But and we might bust out the new theme for 2025 a little early if you call in. So spoilies. But again, I think it's just gonna be this. I think having it as a street fight helps protect Mariah, and they can just hit each other with kendo sticks and move on with their lives. So let me throw out my little gasoline on this fire situation. All right, Hangman. Does Toni Storm make an appearance in this match? She's going through a character crisis now. She's come back to AEW as if she's debuting. Let's say debut, but she's redebuting her old, basically NXT character. So could we see, like, remember R-Truth for how long has R-Truth gone in the wrong women's Royal Rumble? Like, could she just come out and not actually interact as much, like just kind of innocently screw over Mariah because she, like, I'm your biggest fan, like you're amazing, and something happens where she like not screws over the type of like cost, like just kind of stays in the storyline in like a little bit of a periphery in the You did not just compare Toni Storm to the comedies of Rotten Killings pretending to be in matches that he's not in. Yes, because Toni's been great. Everything she's done has been funny and amusing. So like if this is a character crisis, why can't you show up for the person who what we want to see, but she hasn't realized it yet because she's been broken mentally. I know we flirted with the idea of her. It's like the reverse, and she starts stalking Mariah. I don't think I'm quite ready for that yet. I feel like she's got to beat Thunder Rosa in this street fight match. I feel like she just needs a little more credibility as being the champion because I feel like it's not quite there. And I feel like because I think like Mariah's gonna have it. Like I don't know if it's gonna be another like for Toni to come back and win it the year later, or you do it at in the May pay-per-view Double or Nothing. But this is gonna go on for a little bit, so I think it's a bit too early to dip her toes back around Mariah. She just had who did she roll up on Wednesday? It was like a quick roll. It wasn't Harley. What's her face?
Harley Quinn? No, not Harley.
Yeah, Harley Quinn. Harley Cameron.
Harley Cameron. Harley Quinn is the Batman villain.
Any whoosies, but I don't know. I want a little bit of separation between the two of them right now. I think it's too soon.
Fair enough. I could totally see a situation where she just somehow stays involved. But ultimately, Nikki, who you got in this match?
Mariah.
I agree. We both have Mariah winning this. What?
That's all the photos, babe.
That's the one on AEW's website. Don't yell at me. I didn't take it. Blame Tony. His photography crew.
Aggressive.
Or lack thereof.
Get it, girl.
But we move along to the international title. Takeshita defends against Powerhouse Hobbs, who was right. He was in the Callis family because he was with Taz, and then
was that the trade? Because he traded with Jake.
No, he didn't get.
No, he traded with Jake, and that's when he got Lance Archer and Brian Cage. Isn't that how that happened?
I guess we'll find out. I'm not.
Or was Hobbs in the Callis family, and then he got injured, and he was out for a little bit?
Yeah, I think that's what happened.
Dropped him because he was injured, and
right.
now this is.
That's kind of what I'm thinking.
Yes.
So.
And talk through that.
So that being said, again, Hobbs has, and I think he's got a tremendous, he's got a phenomenal look. Like, he's probably bigger than Lashley. Him and Lashley could be a huge money match.
Where is?
So my question is, what's the best way to book Powerhouse Hobbs? Because again, this match is very interesting. It at least has some sort of backstory that keeps it relevant to some extent, other than just another title defense. But what's the best way to book Powerhouse Hobbs? Because he's bigger than Wardlow, I think. And these big guys, whether it's Big Bill, Wardlow, Brian Cage, Tony struggles to book
Archer. Let's just keep it big men that are not
big meaty men getting booked big meaty badly.
Where's MVP? MVP and Bobby Lashley need to swallow him up immediately, and he needs to learn everything he can from Bobby Lashley.
Well, yeah, put him with that group.
I'm sorry, stop fucking around with Ricochet.
Send him to NXT.
Also, side note, Hanson and more big men. Apparently, Hanson is teaching big men classes at NXT.
Yes.
And it's like that works. Then he's been with Oba, and he's been with Hank and Tank, and I guess maybe other not named yet big men. But I was like, I think that's amazing.
MVP needs to swallow Hobbs. Oh my!
Stop. Why is everyone taking everything I say and making it gross? But he needs to if Chris Jericho has this bullshit learning tree, MVP needs to have a learning tree and get Hobbs because he's young, he's in incredible shape. Make him the next Bobby Lashley. Hello.
Yeah, no, you should be. It makes perfect sense to me. But I don't know. What do you all think? Do you think he's got the potential that we do? Or do you think he's just another big guy who's just
I think it's like him and Wardlow. They get built up, they get this little monicum of push, and then something stupid happens. Injuries. And it's just I think he's 24, 25. He's a young baby pickle. And I think he has a great career in front of him, but he's not beating Takeshita.
Nikki, we are 2 for 2 here because I agree that Takeshita is retaining as international, which is basically, I consider that the European title of the AEW.
Yeah.
Whereas TNT is probably the Intercontinental title.
Yeah, and this is your European.
So, moving along, let's get into it. Probably, I put this in the mid-card just to keep it rolling along. Arguably the biggest rivalry feud on this card. We have MJF in the Dynamite Diamond Ring defending it against Adam Cole, the Devil, and Nikki.
Yes.
After this whole storyline, I don't know about you, but I got a little sympathy for the Devil.
Let the players introduce myself. I'm a man
Dr. Tay would love this one.
I know.
Old Rolling Stones. Taking it
Well,
back.
I hear your dentist isn't seeing you anymore. Ugh! He said it, I was like, oh God. But it's true. I get it. I get why we're doing this. I still think it's too early. I don't want this now. I don't want this for the flipping Dynamite Diamond ring. It's so
everyone's fighting over jewelry.
It's so crazy to me. Like 3 to 4 years ago, me shitting on an MJF Cole match seems bananas. But now I'm like, I don't want to see this. I don't care. I do not care. I think it's too early to do this. You revealed him as the devil, and it was just like, who cares? And he's like, I turn on you before you turn on me. Like,
I beat you to the punch.
And I just feel like if they both weren't injured at the end of 2023, this would have been so much better. Because again, I kind of wish we had our podcast then, like them doing the Bay stuff, and I'm so mad we didn't go see them in Arthur Ashe and get the Mets version of that. Makes me upset. But it's just like, it was so hot, it was so good, and it's just like, I don't care. I don't care.
No, it's fair, I guess. Well, I guess my first question to start, okay, is they are the enforcers. So will the Undisputed Kingdom turn on Adam Cole?
Who cares? I don't care.
Well, MJF always has, cronies and enforcers.
He's gonna reunite with Wardlow, because remember Wardlow used to be with them. When they beat him up, it was like, oh, Wardlow's beating him up.
Oh, that would be a nice thing, because Wardlow never does anything lately.
I know. Talking about going to NXT, put Wardlow at NXT yesterday, please. I love him so much, and I want him to be such a bigger thing than he is, and he's not. But like again, Matt Taven and Mike Bennett, I don't care.
But they're cronies. That's the point. It's like, I think they're cronies. It would be kind of interesting is like, what if like they turn, but then there's double turn and Wardlow comes back to just beat the crap out of both of them, because they're kind of.
I want Wardlow to come out and lay out everybody. Beat up MJF, beat up Cole, beat up Undisputed Era, beat up everybody.
Just powerbomb everyone 16,000 times.
Everyone 6,000 times on top of each other 6,000 more times.
So the other question to this is, when I always make more predictions, who needs this victory more? Is it MJF or is it Adam Cole? Because I feel like neither of them, like MJF, I feel like the last match I've seen him when he lost to Daniel Garcia and hasn't really, I mean, not that he needs to win.
Because he was filming,
right. And Adam Cole hasn't had a match in like 6 years, it seems like. So who needs this victory more? Because that would influence my pick.
I think Adam Cole probably needs it more. But because I'm seeing Steven's comment in the thing, I don't know what movie he's off promoting.
He's in Happy Gilmore too.
Yeah, but they're not promoting it yet. They just wrapped. So that's not promoting a movie.
Yeah, so he's in. I don't know. Well, yeah, he kind of.
It's just like, are they gonna have Adam Cole win because MJF is leaving? But I'm like that. Again,
Ed wants Wardlow to come out with Sid's '96 entrance.
Oh, but a better version.
I'm gonna rule the world.
But yeah. But is Cole just gonna win because you need to write MJ off for a little bit? But it's like, then we all know you just won because he needs to leave. I don't know, and I'm just like, it makes me so sad that I really don't give a fuck about this.
Well, I know it should have so much more.
And I hope it's a fun match. Honestly, I hope it opens.
And is this the blow off to their feud, or you think it's still going on? Because you
need to get away.
You're pretty adamant.
I'm done. Or it's Kyle O'Reilly has to do something.
Yeah,
is he gonna come out and take out the UK to sort of kind of help MJF because he's mad at Adam Cole, and then does he beat MJF because MJF has to go somewhere, and then he feuds with O'Reilly? Did I say Kevin Owens or did I say Kyle O'Reilly? For a second in my brain, I said.
I think he's a Kyle O'Reilly.
There's too many KO.
But no, I mean, there's Kyle O'Reilly, there's Roderick Strong who's in this feud, there's Wardlow who's in the periphery, like he hasn't been around. So there's 3 people that haven't chimed in. You could, in theory, really put Britt Baker in this feud and really like take to a whole other level where she's screwed.
No.
If Britt Baker came back to screw over Adam Cole for MJF, that would be
so icky.
it would be so great. It would be so Tony and so Kate. They would love it.
Then did she make out with like MJF, kind of like an Edge Lita thing with Matt Hardy's Dick Carcass?
Yeah, just hey,
that'd be
that would be money though. That would keep me invested in this. I don't know. What do you all think of this?
I would hate that. I would hate it and love it, and hate it and love it.
So, who do you got in this match? Ultimately, Nikki.
I'm going MJF. I don't know. It's MJF. I think he's a bigger star. He's a bigger star, which is not crazy. I don't know, not crazy to say. I think it's MJF.
You and I, for the 3rd match in a row, agree, sadly, that I think MJF is going to take the W here. And at least even, I think United Kingdom is going to screw over Cole, and that'll keep him with a feud for those guys until Mike Bennett's contract expires and he goes with his wife somewhere.
Or does Roddy come back? Because again, you do have like Roddy KO and all these people. It's not going to be clean, you know that, obviously.
Right.
And again, Cole because this is for the Dynamite Diamond ring. What is Adam Cole going to do with that ring? MJF has had it. That's his gimmick. Like giving it to Adam Cole makes no sense.
Yeah. Maybe he just pawns it. Like,
all right, we already did it with Daniel Garcia.
Yeah, I know. Maybe he double pawns it.
I don't care.
But we move on, Nikki. So, gosh, I lost my train of thought. So we move on into I guess we're going to call this we'll go back to the ladies. So we do have 2 women's matches on this card. Chris Statlander challenges Mercedes Moné, the TBS champion. Finally, for round 2, they're calling it Moné Statlander 2, which means there might be a 3rd in this whole thing. So
all this under also a match I don't care about.
So again, I know there's a lot to this, but my first question do we see Camille return to aid or attack Mercedes in this? Remember, she quit. She was about to get fired with her injured arm, collarbone, elbow, whatever it was. So in this situation, in this match, could we see Camille return, a presumably healthy Camille, return to get her revenge? Or we've seen in the past where it's like a weird, what's that word? Stockholm Syndrome type deal, even though where like they appreciate their captors a little bit more. Maybe it's something like that where she's like, oh yeah, like I need a job or something like that. And she comes back and still helps her. Because we've seen that in the past, old WWE storyline. So Nikki, what do you think? Does Camille show up in this match?
I didn't even think about Camille a second.
That's why I'm here.
Just flagged her face. Maybe doesn't matter. I'm sorry, I feel like I'm like just shitting on this pay-per-view, but it's just like
I know you're going hard.
No, I just like I'm just thinking ahead. Like I think Julia's coming back. I want Julia to get her TBS title belt back. I think they need to redo Jamie Hayter because this 70s Daphne bullshit needs to end and like go back to the Jamie of old and her like old Jamie.
That 70s girl, Jamie Hayter, just
I
Awesome.
don't know. Is she like the new like that 70s guy? Like was she Mike? What's his face?
Yeah.
Awesome. Like I don't understand Jamie Hayter.
I know what you think about it. Hold on.
Yep.
Hated it.
Yes, anything of it because we talked so much. I'm like, I cannot wait for Jamie to come back. Cannot wait for Jamie to come back. And I can't. She came back, and I'm like, what is this big orange hair? What is this big floppy sleeves? Like, what is everything about this? Like, honey, no. Like, go back. And she's like, then she's still doing the old like drinking, haterade. I'm like, this.
Steve made a good point. Camila recently complained about her booking, so she gets a timeout from Tony for a few months.
Probably. But no, I don't know. I think. Because it's weird because...
Oh, wow. Sorry. Sorry, Steve. I caught up on Steve's comment. It would be the second ring Adam Cole got back this year. Wow, ruthless in the chat.
Were they engaged?
I guess. Yeah, I think they were.
I don't think they were.
But we digress. It was a great comment, Steven. I had to throw that in there.
Steven. I don't know. Again, like Mercedes said that her and Chris won was her second favorite match she ever had. Obviously, one is her Bailey Brooklyn one. But like, is it gonna be a good match? I think the first Statlander Mercedes match is probably the best that Mercedes had since coming to AEW. But I don't think Statlander is the one to take it off her. I want Julia. I'd rather a legit Jamie Hayter, not the 70s mom version of her. But I don't think Statlander's it.
I just have a feeling this match to me is very much a weird TK. Like I have to book something different for this pay-per-view. Like I have to book a title change. So I just get this feeling that the second time around we're going to see some sort of title change. Like the Camille aspect, I think plays a factor in this. And I could see Camille coming back and screwing over Mercedes and ultimately costing her this belt. And it's been so long. It's been overdue. So to me, I think this is the title change. I'm picking Chris Statlander in this match.
No. Also, I'm sorry, you had it, I think our logo cuts it off, but where's this pay-per-view at tomorrow?
I don't remember.
Let me Google.
I
just don't know if this plays a part into booking. Sorry, guys.
She's throwing me off. Nope, don't have it there. 30 seconds.
Oh, Orlando, Florida.
Okay,
so neither of them are from Orlando, Florida, so I guess not.
We disagree on this one. I think Stat is going to win it and finally take her first significant women's title in AEW because I think Toni will realize it's kind of run its course. There's not much left for Mercedes to do just carrying the belt. And I think that this is the opportunity to just put it on a homegrown AEW talent and move on. And so to me, I'm going Stat on this one. And I think this is the big title upset.
Okay.
We disagree. We really disagree.
You, Bobo.
Unbelievable. So we move along. Continental Classic. Order it at your local diner. Great sandwich. Especially if you get a solid chef that just knows how to make it just right. Continental Classic. Nikki.
Yep.
So I just put this into one graphic.
Yep.
So it's a double, 3 matches in 2. 3 matches with 4 people.
Yeah, the blue versus the gold, and whoever wins the blue and whoever wins the gold has a match later. So is this going to open then? Do you open with Osprey Fletcher?
You could do that, especially if you're going to have one of them wrestle twice. So I'll start with this and try and touch upon this. The only person that I think is the hero is Kyle Fletcher, the hero of the Continental Classic. He's the only person I know that's been in it this whole time, other than Ricochet getting toilet paper thrown in a Hammerstein ballroom recently, and that it's for Okada's belt. I really have no idea who else is in this match, who's in this tournament. It seems like the whole roster has been in this tournament, and Kyle Fletcher is the only person who stood out to me with trying to do anything to get over.
Well, I think this past week it was Brody Osprey who had a really good match. I think and Brody Darby had a match. I don't know. I really like Brody King, and I wish they did more with Brody.
Oh yeah,
House of Black in general.
Oh yeah, I know. There's no Alice. I was gonna wear my Malachi Black, Alistair Black T-shirt today, and I was like, well, he's not on the paper, so there's kind of no point in putting him on. The other thing is in this of the final 4, so we have Okada, because it's his belt, he's not going to be eliminated, which would have been kind of a cool booking if he's eliminated from this Final Four. But regardless, Ricochet recently signed, so you get pushed to the moon. Ospreay, who we know my feelings about Will Ospreay and how much I love him, but I think he's been booked terribly, and Kyle Fletcher. Which Ospreay-Kyle Fletcher is one of the semifinal matches, which, again, in my opinion, should have been a final match or for the belt. So you're kind of pushing it too soon. And the other thing is, you have Ricochet in here, who's kind of been a tweener for the last month or so, but kind of edging towards, or leaning towards, I should say, heel. So I guess where does Ricochet stand now after the Hurt Syndicate?
I know MVP pushed to have Ricochet in the Hurt Syndicate business, whatever you want to call it, in WWE. It didn't happen. So now they're pushing it here. And it's just, to me, it's like round peg, square hole. Like, just doesn't, I don't know. He's great in the ring, but again, we keep saying that this week. Talkie, no more talkie. Like, I don't want to hear Ricochet talk. And like Samantha Irvin was just like wanted to leave WWE because or got into ring announcing because she wanted to be more of a manager, have more of a presence. But like, girl could talk. He can't.
Yeah, she should be.
And then, then put him with MVP already. Don't stop flirting with each other. Either do it or don't. Okay.
Yeah.
Don't care.
No, it's fair. So again, I don't know where he goes from here. If he's a face, heel, whatever. Because again, his moveset, he just gets lost a little bit there. It says, Ricky straight up heel. Dude is retweet Andrew D.
Oh no.
Mikey chiming in. Mikey!
Hey! Yeah.
Bringing the sex appeal to the show.
Bringing sexy back.
He would break it up in a 3-act structure. Open with the semis, semi 1, semi 2, like third or fourth match, finals, match 6.
No, that makes sense. I'm like, they have so many matches that like you could open with whoever's doing double duty. Like, you're gonna have some time. But no, Mikey, that makes sense.
See, Mikey just, aside from getting roasted online, this bro heel of Ricochet could work, but not sure the direction. And then Steven thinks that Tony badly wants Ospreay Okada in the final.
Oh yeah, because that's a beer final. And
so Nikki has, spoiler alert, she has that.
I have Okada. I have Okada.
So she's picking Okada. I differ because I think it's going to be a night for the Callis family because of the media scrum and everything else. I think Kyle Fletcher ends up, the guy who needs it the most, wins it. And you could have Ospreay chasing him. I think Okada loses out because of the fact that now he doesn't have the backup of the Elite. So he's kind of lost in the shuffle and lost in the mid-card.
And I've been shouting Fletcher's praises through this podcast for months now. But I feel like this is kind of all Okada has. He's, they base this off of the G1. And he's won, oh God, someone's going to correct me below.
He's a tournament wrestler.
3 times? I think he's won it. Again, it's also for a belt that nobody cared about but my Eddie Kingston. I love Fletcher a lot. I just don't know if this is going to do anything for him. Unless he beats Ospreay, has a match with Okada, and loses to Okada.
I just think...
Does he, because again, Ospreay's been on this terrible losing streak, and does the Callis family help Fletcher get over so then you can continue the Fletcher Ospreay feud, but not around this inconsequential belt?
I think it's a fun. I think it's a dominant, like the press conference, the media scrum is the Callis family showing their dominance once again. Hey, now we've claimed the international title and we've got the Continental Classic Crunch Wrap belt, whatever they're calling it now, whatever Ed's calling it. And ultimately, I think that's how Kyle Fletcher ends up winning this belt.
I just don't, even if like Okada doesn't win.
He says, Steven says, top 10 wrestlers in the world, and all they make him say is say bitch a lot.
Yeah, bitch.
Well,
I just
soon he's gonna say
Price
this.
is wrong, bitch.
so quiet. I just honestly I don't know if any of the four of them, maybe less so Ricochet, does this do anything for anybody. I don't think it's gonna really elevate Ospreay or Fletcher. I think if you want to put like Fletcher Garcia for the belt, like they did have that match on I almost said Rampage, Dynamite. Like I don't. This is not going to do anything for anybody.
No.
Again, put this on the list of matches I don't care about. And I hate saying this about AEW.
Yeah, there's a lot on the list, Nikki.
I know.
You're putting a lot on.
Do it.
A lot on.
Do it.
All right. Well, I gotta find it.
Oh, Jesus, I thought you already had it.
They're on your naughty list.
You just made the list.
I know. I want this to be so good, but I'm like, the build-ups are not doing it for me.
Yeah. Well, that seems to be a growing trend in the AEW PPVs. They're not PLEs. They're PPVs, not PLEs.
Mm-hmm.
Say that 3 times fast. So, Nikki, we move along. There's one more match in the evening before we open up the phone lines for everybody here.
Mm-hmm. Let's
get to the Fatal 4-Way in the main event of the evening. Nikki, What are your thoughts on this match? Who do you got? What are you thinking?
I think this is going to be a fun match. But, because I'm trying to think, and I know y'all will correct me down below. Was the last Fatal 4 match, was that 4-pillar match? It was MJF, Darby, Jungle Boy, Sami. And then they were all trying to cut promos, and they all sounded awful against MJF.
Yes.
And the match was like semi-decent, but it was like, well, I'm excited for them to actually have I think this is going to be a very fun, very good Fatal 4-Way. And I think this, to me, is match of the night. This is the match I'm obviously most looking forward to. I think they all, obviously, Hangman is former AEW champion. I think they all could be champions again. I just don't think it's going to be now. I think Mox retains here. I want Mox to hold it for a full calendar year. I know that poor man needs a vacation, but if he's doing this whole dominance, my faction, I'm all the philosophical stuff he says, it'd be way too quick for him to drop this. I think he needs to carry it for a while longer, and I know this would be the match to protect him because it is a Fatal 4-Way, but I don't think it's the right time for him to lose the belt.
I don't think anyone else really merits the title at this point in time. So I have a couple questions before we get to what I think I've tipped off our predictions. But first off,
our t-shirts?
Will we see a higher power reveal? Because there's been talk for a long time about the Death Rider storyline and what this is.
Here comes the money. I would laugh and then I would start to cry. It'd be so hysterical. But anyway.
Well, they tried to buy AEW, but
the price is wrong, bitch.
Oh God, I didn't know that was the whole big thing.
Yeah. Little Adam Sandler. Hey, listen, MJF's going to be in Happy Gilmore too, so we got to help him out. But yeah, so what will we see a higher power revealed as part of the Death Riders? Because this could be the next phase of the storyline, and there's rumors that they want to bring this into the new year.
No, but though, could you see? Also, I couldn't really see this as when Undertaker was spouting this out, and then he realized who the higher power was. So I guess it makes sense. But could you see like Jon Moxley running this for somebody else? Like, who would be so above Mox?
Well, there's someone who's been out for a while. Now, I think he could come back in more of a foil sense than anything else.
Yeah, I don't think he's the higher power.
But
is the person
I don't think
you're thinking of.
I don't think he's particularly the higher power, but you just never know.
Bye. And good night bed.
No. Kenny Omega cannot be a higher power to Jon Moxley.
Do we see a Kenny
Jon
Omega
Moxley-
return?
Kenny should come back and take, because that would be so, because obviously Mox debuted to beat up Kenny. And I think it'd be great if he comes back to fuck up. Like, Mox wins, and then he takes out Mox after this, and they run, because it should be like this AEW original EVP to come take the belt off Mox. And if you do it back at Double or Nothing, where he got beat, like, that makes more sense to me. But, like, him as a higher power.
So there's two ways you could look at it. Yes, he could be the hero, the EVP coming back, because he's the only main event one. Like, the Young Bucks, none of them are going to be becoming a single star anytime soon.
No.
And so he's the only one who could come back and be the foil and say, I'm taking back this company, period, with the belt first. But there's also the angle of, like, remember how he left. The Young Bucks, abusing their power, just took him out. So Kenny Omega returning and saying, like, this was my hostile takeover plan all along could be a nice wrinkle in that storyline. Like, hey, it makes sense. Like, we've talked about, like, storylines and kayfabe having to have some continuity. And to me, like, this would make sense. Like, you guys took me out, so I devised a plan to take the company back. And that included all these people that knew how bad this could.
To align himself with.
Yeah.
I don't know. But also, like you put in the chat, like, everyone knows that Kenny's coming back, and his first match back is going to be in New Japan.
Yeah.
And
Kenny might be at World's End, but his in-ring has been confirmed with WrestleMania. Yeah.
So it's please correct me. It's the show after the day after Wrestle Kingdom. It's supposed to be the super show. It's New Japan, obviously AEW, and I think somebody else in that mix. But it's just like, that's already been announced. And again, your big return match is not in the company that you started. Feels a little weird to me, but we can go down that rabbit hole a different day. But I don't know.
There has to be, to me, if Mox ends up winning, there has to be something next. And what's next? It's got to be something like a big name like Kenny Omega. And that's the biggest name that I can think of that's still associated with AEW that can come into the storyline and do something, not aside from Cody Rhodes, that could do something in the storyline and be a savior to the company. And it makes the most sense for him to kind of come back. I don't know. What do you all think? Let us know in the chat below. Do you want to see Kenny come back and be inserted into this storyline? Would you rather see him somewhere else, or do you not really care at all?
I would love Kenny to come back and him and Hangman Page to get back together, because oh god, I love them together.
Or the old elite, right? That he's part of the old elite.
No, well, that was a whole friction between.
So Mikey says like AEW.
Yes. I knew it was Stardom, and then I felt like I just didn't know it was CMLL. If I can say that 4 times fast.
Come on, say it real fast. Come on.
I will not.
Boo. I'm booing you. Well, Nikki.
Yep.
So ultimately, our final picks for the main event, you and I tend to agree. Once again, Jon Moxley will retain. It makes the most sense for the storyline, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think it's too early.
So, Nikki, let's wrap our pick segment for AEW World's End. The top is what we disagree on. The bottom is what we agree on. We agree on 4 matches. We disagree on who's going to win the Continental Classic. Nikki's got Okada retaining. I've got Kyle Fletcher being the new champion. I also have Chris Statlander as the new AEW TBS Women's Champion and defeating Mercedes Moné, which Nikki has Mercedes Moné retaining. So basically, you have all title retains, and I don't.
Yeah.
So I have 2 differences. So if title changes, I win.
I feel like there's gonna be, because again, there's only 8 matches. There's gonna be 8 more to be announced. I assume Daniel Garcia is gonna be something with the TNT belt. I'm assuming the tag team belt's gonna do something. Honestly, I'd rather Private Party lose them to like the Outrunners or something, if that hasn't been announced yet.
Yeah.
We
You know, there's 4 more matches going to be announced
again,
tonight.
and then you still,
Even though it's a last
still-
Rampage, just to kick it off.
They still gonna book 0 hour.
More like 0 view
But
hour.
no, I rather, as much as I know Private Party just got them.
Get
I'd
the
rather-
coffee ready.
No, oh, God.
So, I don't know. Let's know in the chat below what your predictions are. If there's anything we didn't touch upon for this pay-per-view, because you pay per view. But, Nikki.
Yep.
We're a little over time here
Scandal.
because we had a pay-per-view to cover and a bunch of other things.
Mm.
But, are you ready?
Yeah.
Let's get ready.
Hello.
Alright, once I find it.
Ugh, you get too many things.
I know, I got so many drops now. It's just like too many to get through. But Nikki, the phone lines, well, let me do it. Let's explain how we do the phone lines. So you click into the chat, into the description below. Well, actually, I could probably do it this way too. Copy. And then I'll throw it in here into the comments right now. So if you're new, okay, click in there, and that takes you to the StreamYard link where you can call in and let us know what you're thinking, what you're drinking this week in WWE AEW professional wrestling. If you want to talk about old school wrestling, we'll talk about that too. But Nikki, getting ready to kick the lines open. So for the last time, because again, next year on Tuesday, we are back Tuesday with our very special New Year's Eve edition. So there will be all new intros for our regulars, all new segments, things like that. So we want to see you back here New Year's Eve, 6 p.m. Eastern time. A little bit different setup than we normally do. But that being said, Nikki.
Yep.
So you click into the StreamYard link in the description. That takes you to a different page. You can call in, let us know what you're thinking, what you're drinking, mute your YouTube page, and come on in. Nikki, the phone lines are now open. All right, Nikki. So, ooh, eeny,
I'm gonna
meeny.
sneeze. Maybe not. I picked so much.
No sneeze?
Sorry.
She did it. She did the thing.
I did the thing.
All right, Nikki. Let's start with the regular for one last time. For one last time this year.
Yeah.
Say his name and he appears.
I believe it's Steven.
I'm a scat man. I'm a scat man.
Ba-ba-ba-da-boop.
Steven.
Happy Saturday, everybody.
Happy Saturday.
Saturnalia. Never mind.
No, you made a joke on a text message, and I had to explain it to Nick. So.
Yeah, if there has to be an explanation, then it probably wasn't that funny. But I tried.
But Steven, that's the last time he wants to play that song, and it makes me a little sad.
Listen, it will be a derivative. Listen, nothing's ever good as the original, but it will be a derivative of the original. Let's just say a little bit more Big Nick energy for Steve. Ba-ba-ba-da-boop.
A little more derivative, you say?
Yes. We're putting a little bit more Big Nick energy into 2025 because that's kind of what we felt. We needed a little bit more of this.
I mean, you're gonna make him trap music?
What? This is not trap.
What worried about? This to be a lot of.
It's not gonna be trap music.
Steven, get
We don't
rid
trap
of it.
anyone here.
That sounds like after I've had Chipotle, actually.
No.
Steven, you know, I know you like Chipotle. I know why you like Chipotle. Even though they don't make this, I know exactly why you like Chipotle.
Is your little chicken tender slut?
Joke's on you. I don't think they make chicken tenders.
I know. I wish they did.
You just want to use that.
Yes.
This is your own damn fault because someone last week was talking about chicken tender slut being a drop. I don't know who did, but they got on the show. So
I didn't talk about it being a drop, but I did bring it up as a perfectly legitimate wrestling subject, by the way.
You know, if you do that, he's going to turn it into something.
Exactly. This is how it works.
I like to take the culinary angles of things and twist. I mean, you already see I have bangers in my icon today. So
Yeah, I saw.
I know. Very excited because that's what we're hoping. I hope you like the song selection tonight, Steve. It was very eclectic.
For bangers, is it for your continental classic breakfast?
with a side of coleslaw.
Exactly. That's the champion, Steven.
Because it doesn't matter what time of day in a New Jersey diner, what meal you're getting, even if it's pancakes, they're going to give you a side of slaw.
Yep.
That's fair.
That's very true.
You might argue it's a banger.
It's banger after banger after banger.
I hardly know her.
The jokes today.
Yeah.
Steven, what you got for us, man?
Steve's ready to sex tonight.
Okay.
He's bringing sexy back.
Actually, something positive for AEW this time. Much better in the smaller venue. I mean, especially the Hammerstein Ballroom, which speaks to me emotionally in my personal wrestling viewing history. But definitely keep doing that, at least for the foreseeable future. Don't go back to the Enormo Domes for a while. I mean, unless you can guarantee you're going to be at least close to a sellout and not having to tarp out any sections.
I agree. It just like aesthetically, it looked amazing. Acoustically, they're so much better in a smaller arena. I agree.
Said it before. I'd rather have 2,500 crazy people in a small arena than 2,500 people rattling around like peas in a can in a 12,000 seater.
Mm-hmm.
No, it makes sense. You saw it with like WWE with France and like all the European venues. They were a fraction of what they normally do, but it sounds and looks so much better.
Right. Hopefully that's the beginning of their come to Jesus moments, one at a time, and that's the first one. And from there. So here's to better things for 2025. So for AEW, so they can take the pleasure away from me for ripping on them all year.
Right.
Seriously.
Yeah.
You didn't want to just like dance on the grave of Rampage, Steven?
If a show falls in the woods and no one's there to see it, did it make a sound?
Fair enough. Well, Steve, I'm just going to drop this in just for the hell of it.
Rest in peace.
I couldn't resist
you
it.
and your drops.
Couldn't resist it.
What else, Steve?
Oh, okay. Well, for those who I suspect may be disappointed with tomorrow night's AEW card, I don't know. I picked up a couple of things while listening. There is, I'm hoping I'm remembering the time right. There is alternative viewing. I discovered, I don't know how old this YouTube channel is. I just discovered it within the last couple of days, and it was like a great Christmas present to me. WWE Vault. Oh my Lord. And lately they've especially been going heavy on the old ECW programming. But as I understand it, what they're throwing on that channel, I guess is counter, it's not a coincidence, as counter programming to World's End, is they're putting on a lost ECW house show from 2006, meaning it is WWE ECW, but still, I mean, from even the footage that came out today from MSG last night, how much looser and more fun and creative those house shows can be. And I guess they taped this one, and nothing made air until tomorrow.
I thought they would air the Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End just as a competition.
So as far as my understanding, that Vault is relatively new, because now that we haven't had the network in the US for a while, but in the UK and like other places, they've had it. It's finally dying. So apparently a lot of the stuff from Vault is just like, all right, you're losing the network. Everything's going to live on Vault. And apparently it's been ECW week on Vault, culminating in this lost, unknown house show from the ECW arena. And it just, again, magically just happens to be during World's End.
Yes, that's right. It was the one time I think the WWE ECW visited the old ECW arena, now the 2300. Yep. And the last time the whole group was there until NXT was there earlier in the year. And yet, if it's really ECW week on that channel, then I'm taking my phone off the hook, if phones still had hooks. And we
will bother you for the rest of the night, Steven.
Yeah, I'll be watching that until the day I have to go back to work. So
fair enough. Steve, before we let you go, last shot.
Hurry, he's gonna get back to ECW.
I know he's gonna get back to ECW.
I have, yes. Based on especially based on the footage from MSG from yesterday that I've seen, with Seth doing his tribute to Brody Lee, and whatever CM Punk was doing in his shower cap.
I didn't see the Seth thing, but I saw the CM Punk shower cap deal, but I didn't know Seth did a Brody Lee thing.
Yeah, it was brief, but yes, he did it. I something about like hand gestures or something that Brody used to do, and I think they were tight from Ring of Honor back in the day. But anyway, just based on that, and seeing, as I said before, how loose and more fun they try to make the non-televised house shows be, I am making it my resolution for 2025. I don't normally make resolutions at all because, I always fail, to go to a WWE house show sometime this year coming up.
Steven.
Ooh.
Steven.
Oh, Steven dropping some New Year's resolutions.
We will see.
More live wrestling this year.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
Steven, you got to save that for Tuesday, and we're going to throw that in the Tuesday show where your New Year's resolution. I can say that. Resolutions.
Okay, I can repeat it.
Steve, well put. Wait. Always bringing the heat. Yeah. Bringing that big Nick energy. You, sir, are cut off. What a great call.
He's a real ring-a-ding-dong dandy. Thanks, guys.
All right, Nikki. Well, let's get through a couple comments here so you try to catch up on all this. Oh, hey, Brett. Welcome in your house wrestling channel. Our friends of the channel. Oh, Josh, Steven's number one fan. Fantastic.
Josh and I are going to talk later.
Oh, gosh.
Josh, I love you immensely.
All right. Ed's already even comments. Ed's talking about the Vault is solid. Punk in a towel draws more than probably.
Yeah.
More than Rampage. Yeah. They could be fair. He did help the second Rampage. He came out in a towel the second Rampage. If they only knew.
God, if only.
If only they knew.
If only they knew. With
that little shower cap. I mean, it's very sexy. It's a very sexy thing. I understand it. Nikki talks about it. It looks good. But on this show, we only have one person that's allowed to bring the sex. Even though for some reason Steven thought that he could just steal everyone's gimmick. I think he's going to get a cease and desist letter from some of our regulars about this. But regardless, we have a regular that brings the sex appeal. He's known on his show as El Jefe, the boss. But on our show, he's known as Magic Mikey, and Mikey likes it.
Remember, take care of yourself, love one another, be iconic, And more importantly than anything, you always deserve to finish your story.
So Nikki thought that this was going to be a little bit longer break. So that being said, we're going to bring in Mikey as a little bit of an unofficial co-host. Mikey, welcome in.
Hello. Wow, I'm in a bigger square than normally. I love it.
I know it's like Hollywood squares,
right?
In some weird way. And then I do it like this, and it becomes like a weird, rectangle of sorts. But regardless, and then we can go back, and it's like, damn, Nikki lost a lot of hair in this. Dang. Listen, we're both in the same boat here. We're both in the same boat. We have to bond together.
That is very, very fair. Hi.
Anyway, happy Friday, Mikey. So,
happy Friday.
What are you thinking? What are you drinking, my friend?
So I'm drinking water as I just finished my water bottle. And what I'm thinking is, well, I guess I'm excited for World's End tomorrow. I really am. I always have my ups and my downs of when we get these AEW pay-per-views. I'm crossing my fingers. I'm not holding my breath, though, that nothing else gets added after Rampage. Because I'm like, 8 matches on the card. That's great. AEW, please don't add anything else. Though I'm pretty sure we might be getting more stuff anyway.
Wouldn't it be crazy if they just threw out a random hardcore storyline for the last Rampage ever, just to be dicks? I feel like that's a Tony Khan thing to do. He's like, all right, I'm just gonna throw out some crazy storyline that's never gonna be continued on this channel or on this network ever again. But why not?
Well, I mean, I was surprised to see that there is, I mean, technically, while it hasn't been a very good story build to it, I'm surprised to see that we don't have Private Party defending their titles at World's End, especially because we had that whole thing where it was either going to be Top Flight or Action Andretti and Leo Rush because they be beefing at the same time. And Private Party said whoever won that match that they had on Collision would go on to face for the titles. And I guess they're not happening at World's End unless they decide to announce that tonight, but who knows?
It's going to happen. You know it's going to happen. Because it did feel weird that, because as we're looking through the card and doing all the videos and stuff, I was like, there's no tag team matches. It's there's literally and you know how he loves every single belt that he has to get it on every pay-per-view. And it's there's no tag or trios on this belt, on this card. And I was really shocked at that.
Well, the trios I know are being held hostage by the Death Riders. And I'm hoping, I want to see Private Party at World's End. Literally, since they've won the titles, we've had maybe one feud with it and then nothing. So I don't know what we're doing with them. We'll see what happens. I know you both touched upon Mercedes and Chris's match. I want to talk about the other match that has had no story built for the last 2.5 weeks, and that's Takeshita and Hobbs. That match got announced 2.5 weeks ago, and we have yet to see either one of them.
Okay, so you need to explain this because and Mikey's channel does a phenomenal job. He covers 3 times as much wrestling as we do, and
check my out for sure.
And maybe you can explain this to me because we're still trying to figure out because he was in the Callis family, right?
Okay, so let me give the Spark Notes version of this whole thing. Okay, so Powerhouse Hobbs originally was in the Don Callis family. Then when Hobbs got hurt, he was out, for a little bit. And so we keep fast forwarding. We have Takeshita, we have Kyle Fletcher, we now have Brian Cage and Lance Archer, who are now going by the Death Machines, I believe is what they are called now, with Brian Cage and Lance Archer. Don't ask me why. But then Ricochet, wants to have a fight with the Don Callis family. So on Dynamite, what was it? I think 2 months ago or a month and a half ago, Ricochet needs a partner. Nobody's partnering with him. So he finds a partner to face Kyle Fletcher and Takeshita. And it comes out to be Powerhouse Hobbs. So they have a match. Takeshita loses. Then we get that 8-man before Full Gear, which has Hobbs and all of them together. But the more recent things of why we got to this match is once we got done with Full Gear on Rampage. So this is why I'm very happy that we're one of the few channels that covers Rampage, because if you don't watch Rampage, then you're not going to see everything, which sucks. For 2 weeks on Rampage, we had the Don Callis family in different iterations. Hobbs pinned Takeshita, I believe, 3 weeks ago on Rampage. And so then this match gets made. And then we have a rerun of that match where Hobbs and Mark Davis, formerly part of the United Empire, win again because Powerhouse Hobbs and Mark Davis are a tag team right now. But we have gotten nothing from Takeshita, nothing from Hobbs. It sucks because I personally love Hobbs. I think this match is going to be really fun, but we kind of dropped the ball the last 2.5 weeks of giving this any oomph to why this is happening.
Even the preview video for AEW, I was trying to catch up on all this stuff. Literally, it's just him saying I want that belt, and that was really it. It was literally that's the only thing they could find to make it relevant. And I was like, man, that's pretty terrible. Because we were just talking about it earlier, he could be the next Bobby Lashley in AEW, and he has the look, and you put him. He doesn't need to talk. Put him with a good mouthpiece. And put him with Prince Nana for all I care. And he could be such a big. But it's the story of it's the antithesis of what WWE is building big, big heavyweight stars for the years. Yeah. And it's AEW for some reason struggles to do that. They have no idea. Tony has struggled. He's I got this guy who's Satnam Singh, you name the person.
We were naming them all before. It was Hobbs, it was Wardlow, it was Lance Archer, it's Brian Cage, Satnam Singh. He's doing nothing with these people. And I feel I said this before and got mocked in the comments, but I said MVP and Bobby need to gobble him up and make him be this new Bobby Lashley. Hobbs is so young. Have him, and I said Jericho's this learning tree. Have Bobby and MVP be an actual learning tree where Hobbs can learn from.
See, I agree. I think what's hurt Hobbs is, him being in factions and then being on his own for 3 weeks, and then he got hurt. Yeah. So that's the other thing is now we got to build. This is what happens, and I'm excited for World's End, but the biggest critique I had when we talked about it during our end of the year podcast is my biggest problem with AEW this year is the over-reliance of their more established stars, which is fine. I mean, as a company, you have your established stars to rely on, but you have the big storyline being the Death Riders, which includes Mox, and then 3 other dudes that are probably your more established stars that kind of going back to what we're talking about, your private parties, the tag titles are nowhere to be seen on World's End right now. I mean, even if you look at this poster, outside of my girl Thunder, because I always ride or die for her, these are all the people that have consistently been on television the last month or two. Yeah. And then I'm okay, so you had Mina lose and then nothing. Okay, we haven't seen Mina in a couple weeks now since losing at Winter is Coming. Well, so it was just a one and done. Okay, fine, whatever. I wanted at least 2 matches between Mariah and her.
Yeah, she did dance off at Mercedes. That whatever was that the house show?
That was at. Oh shoot! What's the name?
It wasn't a house show. It was some other.
It was strong. It was a strong style show in Long Beach.
In Long Beach, yeah, and it's just
which because of that dance off and that interaction there, match at Wrestle Dynasty. Yeah, it's Mina versus Mercedes for the strong title at Dynasty, which kind of putting it back to Hobbs and Takeshita. Takeshita's not losing this because Takeshita also has a match at Wrestle Kingdom next week against Shingo Takagi for the Neverweight Open Championship. And even though it doesn't say on the graphic, New Japan has been saying if Takeshita holds on to this title past World's End, then that match against Shingo Takagi becomes a title for title match at Wrestle Kingdom. Yeah. Which means to tell me I think Takeshita might win both championships, but then he's got to defend it the next night at Dynasty because whoever wins that match at Wrestle Kingdom has to face Ishii for the Neverweight Open Championship at Dynasty.
And I don't want to be confusing, but wasn't Takeshita Moxley's young boy when he first went to New Japan? Or am I confusing them?
So that would be Shota Umino, who is going to have a match at, well, actually, he's having a match at both Kingdom and Dynasty. He's going up against IWGP Heavy Championship, which is main eventing Wrestle Kingdom, and then he's having a match against Claudio Castagnoli because, again, they haven't promoted it well on AEW, but New Japan has been promoting it. Claudio Castagnoli has been selected as Mox's, like, errand boy, so to speak, to go take care of business in Japan. So Claudio and Shota Umino are going to have a match at Dynasty.
That Umino and Takeshita in my brain have been, I transposed them in my brain.
Yes. So, yeah. So Shota Umino has been the one that's been Moxley's like young boy in Japan. When Moxley in Japan.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know why I mixed those two in my brain. Thank you.
Fair point. Mikey, pleasure as always having you. Before we let you go, last shot.
Last shot. I'm to kind of conclude everything. I'm excited for World's End tomorrow. We at BC WrestlePod, we're doing our review on Monday, and then we get a couple days off, and then we're kicking off 2025 off with a crazy lineup of shows because we will be covering our first ever Stardom show, which makes me super excited.
I don't know how you do it.
And then we are also covering Wrestle Kingdom and Dynasty, and Dynasty is going to be fun because we're going to have a plethora of people who review the different programs come on. So it's going to be a fun week.
Mikey, you're like the best bout machine.
I know. You're just like, there's so many. I can barely keep up with the three that we do. Like, you guys are incredible. Please follow Mikey. That is great.
Yes, you have to do one thing.
Acknowledge me.
Him.
Mikey.
Mike.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Mikey, pleasure as always.
Sir.
You, sir, as we say at every bar, really, or cut off. Wow, offering some insight. We finally got some Hobbs insight. We didn't really get that.
God, they're so good. Please follow Mikey. They're so good. I can't. The amount of stuff that they review blows my mind, and that's what I was like. I know what Hobbs is doing, and I don't know how I confused Umino, and I really thought it was the other way around. But again, Mikey, his channel, his team is so all of them. Please follow Mikey.
Yeah.
We love him.
Let's give him a little outro.
Remember, take care of yourself, love one another, be iconic, and more importantly than anything, you always deserve to finish your story.
You always deserve to finish your story.
Yes.
Nikki, I don't let you finish your stories enough. So I hope you finish your story on the shows.
Because you cut me off?
Yeah. That's basically it.
I popped myself. God.
Sometimes that's what you got to do. Well, Nikki, bring it home. So, before we get to this break, so we are heading towards, this is the last Friday show. This is the last, absolute last happy hour.
Friday happy hour. Sorry.
Of 2024. We are back here New Year's Eve, 6 p.m. Eastern Time, 2024. We're going to give them, I thought about this. I don't have a good name. I called them the Nickies. I don't know if that works. But like they have the Slammies. Yeah, we're going to give them the Nickies. I don't know.
I want to get top hats that say like 2025 on
Ooh, that'd be kind of fun.
Oh my God. We have 3 days to find top hats.
I have 3 days to find a dollar store.
Oh my God. No, because I'm trying to think. I don't know. I might have top hats from. I don't know if they say 2024.
Listen. If it's not $1 or $1.50 or less, I'm not buying it.
Price is wrong, bitch.
Oh my God, how cute would we be? I wear a top hat and you wear a tiara. Or both.
Yeah.
I think we're both top hat people.
Maybe. I don't know. That's a tough one. I don't know how. Steve's no leftover.
No, Steven, I came in second. Thank you. Get out of here with football.
Josh, the voice. Aww. So you wish they did more with Hobbs.
I know. It's like he's the potential is there. He's super young. I hope he really has a long career in front of him. And right now, it's just like, oh, remember when they weren't doing anything with him and he just like skyrockets.
Seriously, how is Nick not the prettiest girl? I don't know.
No, that's not my face. Get out of here.
Wear the tiara. Listen, Ed.
I'm trying to think.
Ed, you're saying a lot. You're talking a lot of crap right now.
Talk it. I'm trying to think. I think the stuff I have left over from last year probably has 2020.
And I got one thing to say to you about that wear the tiara thing. I don't appreciate your creative.
From the bottom of my heart, man to man, fuck your story.
What's great is that Ed's in the backstage now because he's calling in, and I can see his reactions. And that's the beauty of this whole StreamYard thing is I can see people's reactions in real time, which makes my day. So I know, Ed, you're lucky I didn't use this one on you.
Little chicken tender slut.
That's right, you little chicken.
I know. Would you rather say have the Rock say go fuck yourself, or
I don't know.
Call you a
that's kind of a
slut?
if I could put polls in this chat, that's the 2025 initiative is get polls and countdowns and clocks and things in this chat because that would be an interesting one.
Okay,
but let's get. Josh says, yeah, after Steven, thank you, Dwayne. Red One was a great movie. Just no one saw it.
when did you watch it?
Listen. All right. So we're kicking off 2025, and we're going to bleed in some of these little intros. So it's not going to change that much. Nothing's ever as good as the original. So we're just going to run it back to some extent. But it's been a year. We all know what he's thinking. So let's get him in here and find out what's in his head.
Yeah, Darby Allin sucks. That's a good time.
Do you want another? Let's just run it back one more time.
Yeah, Darby Allin sucks.
Listen, nothing's ever good as the original, but we can overproduce the fuck out of it.
Hey, I'm not mad at this. You're gonna be bummed out. I'm gonna end up changing my catchphrase for next year and everything too. Like,
nope.
Oh no. Well, that was then for 2026 it'll change. That's how it works.
Oh, there's so much going on tonight. You're talking about clocks and polls and talking about MVP and Bobby Lashley gobbling up Hobbs. Like, there's a lot going on tonight.
Your mind's not the gutter.
Everyone's throwing out a lot of sexualness.
You got Goblin Jones over here. We got.
I don't even know. I don't even know what to do. You people are very, very dirty minds.
Little chicken tender slut.
Is that supposed to be an insult? Like, that just sounds like a compliment to me. Who isn't a slut for chicken tenders? Like,
there's so much more I can add into that drop that'll probably show up for next year.
I'm excited, honestly.
Oh,
that's probably the greatest thing that Rhea Ripley gave to us in 2024.
That one's really good, and the other one where the little girl goes, "I love you, Rhea," and she goes, "I love you too, small child," and she points at her. It's real good. It's good. Just give her all the things. Like, I don't want Liv to lose the belt, but like, give Rhea all the things.
I know, it's so hard.
I know, it's fair.
Honestly, maybe she goes to AEW and then she just gets a belt. Like,
oh, here we go.
Shut your mouth. Shut your chicken tender slut mouth.
I'm pretty sure AEW has like a chicken tender championship. I wouldn't be surprised at this point.
Damn it, Ed, you're making me do it again.
Little chicken tender slut.
Not mad at this at all.
I will do that 7 times in a row if I have to.
No.
I mean, that's got to be great for the that's got to be great for the viewers and listeners. I'm going to separate them because I'm sure people are listening to just audio.
Well, I was trying to find a fun little meme of like Colonel Sanders, and there's literally, you know what's ironic? There's no Colonel Sanders videos of him eating chicken.
Yeah, but there's Dolph Ziggler dressed as Colonel Sanders, and Shawn Michaels dressed as Colonel Sanders, and Charlotte Flair dressed as Colonel Sanders. Like, there's a litany of Colonel Sanders you could pull for this.
What?
I literally did not find. I did Colonel Sanders eating chicken in Google, and nothing came up.
Did you do WWE?
Just do WWE Colonel Sanders.
I just wanted someone eating chicken. I don't care who was eating chicken.
Oh, you got it.
Team.
Yeah.
Well, it didn't show up on my search.
Listen, you gotta listen. Do another search, and then you can do your Mountain Dew Domino's honey barbecue KFC pre-show. That leads into your Brawl for All Lethal Lottery CM Punk Memorial Battle Royal.
Oh, it's very exciting.
I'm honestly at this point just booking like a 2011 Raw.
I mean,
like I'm honestly like at that rate, I'm just expecting like The Rock to show up on some kind of like Tron with like a video he shot himself outside of his house with like a lapel mic with no like windscreen, so it's just real windy out.
And I think that this is how titles are booked in AEW.
You're 100% right.
It's something along this lines of this.
You just made the list.
Yeah, you're honestly not wrong.
You signed with me. You just made the list.
No,
by the way, there could be a video coming for 2025 of Tony Khan's signings. Let's just say I have the perfect theme music for it all.
I'm not mad at that. I mean, is it one of those like showing their debut and then where are they now?
Not that intricate. Oh,
because they're all the mid card, right?
Let's find a video of them a month and a half later.
Yeah, I was gonna say they're gonna go straight to Rampage, but
nah,
hard to do that now.
I know.
I think Rampage is what you do after you realize that you signed with AEW and then you're not going anywhere.
I guess I should have mentioned it. It's like Dark Elevation, Dark Rampage. They all just died a death.
Yeah, and Fox is banned from Collision now. So, if the internet's to be believed.
Oh, apparently Fox is not interested in. They were supposed to do it was like they trademarked Shockwave.
Yep.
And apparently now Fox is no longer interested because how bad their ratings are.
Yeah, I mean, are you surprised?
No, not at all.
And it's one of those like, we were saying this last week, but like, what the hell are they doing with Ricochet? Like, what is this character? Like, I get that he's leaning into just like him being like a shit heel, but like he's retweeting Andrew Tate. It's real bad. It's not good.
Do you really? I think that makes me pause. Do you really retweet him in kayfabe?
Like, why are you retweeting the S? Like, I don't want to bring it up on the show. I already do enough with Darby.
No, I really try to keep I'm terrible at it, but just out of this podcast. But nope.
I mean, Andrew Tate's just not politics. He's done some awful stuff that he's going to trial for.
Yeah, no, it's all of it.
Yeah, it's bad. It's bad.
I don't know. Is he that are they that entrenched in the whole like dirt sheet deal? Like, let's just troll everybody? I don't know. Maybe.
Wait, I'm concerned that you don't know who Andrew Tate is.
I don't. But like, I'm just throwing it out there.
The show. How about that?
But as someone who doesn't know, like, fair enough. Like, I don't know. I feel like Ricochet is the type of guy that like doesn't understand character development in general. So like he's just trying to get heat however he can get it. So like,
I mean, he's Kobe Bryant with it. So
yeah.
I don't know. On a positive note, did you guys say that Omos is headed to Noah?
Noah.
Is he still under contract?
He's still, yes, because
he's just gonna go to Noah, and Japan's gonna love this man.
No, so
Seriously?
I believe it's the same card that Shinsuke is defending the U.S. belt. Right? It's the same card, and then almost tag teaming with the other guy to fight the other two.
Wait, so Shinsuke's also on that show?
Mm-hmm.
I know Shinsuke's going to know. It's supposed to be.
He just showed up
he
in
might
the
be
press
back.
conference, yeah.
No, it's the same. I believe it's the same card because Shinsuke, and now so everyone's saying that Shinsuke took the belt off LA Knight because he was doing this show at Noah. They're making it for the belt.
That's really cool.
I can't believe like he's not. I don't remember the guy's name off the top of my brain. But yeah, I believe it's the same card.
That's
I don't know how many
interesting.
big Noah cards that would have one night you have Shinsuke, the next night you have Almost, but that feels like a one card to me.
It's an Homo sapien stand up, like
Homo sapiens.
Yeah, but he's in like a tag team. Apparently, it was supposed to be like a surprise, but Noah like spoiled it.
He's supposed to be like Wrestler X or something. He's the like the mystery partner or whatever.
It's like this. I know I'm gonna fuck up his name too. I'm trying to remember the video I watched. But it's like one guy's supposed to have like this mystery tag team partner against this other more established tag team, and surprise, it's Almost.
All right, so a really fast Google search. I can't find it.
Fair enough.
No.
So he's teaming with Jack Morris and facing Marufuji.
I wanted to say Zach Morris, and I knew that wasn't right.
Oh, but imagine if he did.
By the bell.
What a pro wrestling's greatest what ifs. Omos and Zach Morris.
Like seriously, maybe they would have made it. Maybe they would have made it to class on time, and
exactly. Listen,
and Principal Belding wouldn't have been so upset all the time.
That's the problem. though. Omos can't hide in his chair. Like he knows he's there.
Yeah, like, exactly. And you know what happens? You know what happens when you show up late to class?
You just made the list.
But I don't feel tardy.
I got so many detentions senior year because I was late to every first period class, which was study. Which who studies and study? Everyone knows.
How do you like? How are you late to study hall? Like they take attendance?
Yeah, seriously, they did. This guy was a dick, straight up dick.
I hate that.
Be best.
Yeah, so you're like just straight up asshole. Like the guy was like, I remember he just like would come in and be like, "Why are you late?" I'm like, "It's study. No one cares."
Why are you late? Because I don't want to be here.
And then he would say one thing to me, and he was like really rude, but like as a kid, I'm like, all right. As I got older, it resonated with me. And he said it like this.
From the bottom of my heart, man to man, fuck your story.
See, it's funny you did that because if you didn't play that drop, I was literally going to quote that. You beat me to it.
How did you show up late? I probably could go viral with that. It's like a high school kids would be like, why did you show up late? Fuck your story. My teacher said this to me.
It was really weird. My teacher was Dwayne Johnson.
Seriously.
Mr. Rock, why? No, I honestly can't wait for Zach Morris and Omos versus Cold Brew. This is
that's a WrestleMania main event.
That's our main event for 2025.
That is WrestleMania Night 1 main event. Let's go.
I need you to make like.
Well, now all the PLEs are going to be 2 nights. They're saying.
Hey, that's too much.
Royal Rumble, the Mania, okay. Nobody else needs to be two days.
I know that they want to do SummerSlam for 2 nights, but I'm like, what are we doing?
Yeah, no.
Like, I guess the ones where you have like 6 to 8 matches, then yeah. But like, if you're not going to do like Royal Rumble, you don't need to do that. Survivor Series, no. Like most of the like Money in the Bank is rumored, no.
Oh, you just did it for 5 matches. Why do you need to go to 2 days? Like, no. Gotta remember, was it 30? How was it? 20 WrestleMania 2017 is when I moved back from Philly, and that was the longest. Well, I know the New York one was longer, but like that felt like the longest pay-per-view that nothing happened ever besides the Hardys coming back.
Oh, that was cool. Yeah.
The Hardys coming back was awesome, but I felt like that was like the longest card and the longest ramp and the longest things about things.
Josh said Zack Attack changed the music world.
Oh, absolutely. Friends Forever? Come on. Like, you kidding me? What an absolute banger.
Steven's just trolling everybody. What about Bad Blood Weekend?
I want to talk about Bad Blood Weekend. You want to that's when you put the drop. Fuck your story, because that was very much a fuck you to me.
All right, I'll do it for you.
From the bottom of my heart, man to man, fuck your story.
That was my birthday weekend. Ugh.
Unbelievable.
Sorry, I'm laughing at Josh in the chat of whoever.
Yeah, Josh is just like blowing up the chat. Like,
whoever can't pee in a toilet gets an AEW title shot.
Wait. Oh. Whoever in the AEW doesn't pee in the toilet.
Oh, on the toilet seat. Excuse me.
That's a good one, Josh. That's what you have to say. With Steve, it's pop, but Josh, it's
You're right.
And Ed's in your head. See, we're doing. We're losing. We're getting a little flat this late in the show, but that's how it works. Ed,
Nick,
we're gonna let you go. What is your last shot?
My last shot? You come on. You already know what it is. Ricochet fucking sucks. Fuck that.
Oh, Ricochet! He said Ricochet sucks. He threw Ricochet under the bus.
Did he just turn heel on us?
He just turned Ricochet heel on. Well, I think Ricochet turned heel on.
I don't care. And I feel bad because I know, like, Mikey was like, oh, I've never felt that. Maybe it's just me in work life right now. Been so negative on a card. But I'm like, I don't. Again, the no build-ups, the no nothing. I hate to be the negative one in the show because I try to be the really sunshine, but I'm just like, I don't care.
No, I know. It's upsetting. Well,
but
Ed's upset.
I hope we come, like, when we do our. Well, I guess we can talk about it on our New Year's Eve happy hour if you want to do a little blip on the pay-per-view.
Our little New Year's Eve happy hour.
Yeah, just be like, maybe I can come on and be like, I was wrong. It was a great pay-per-view. Again, I'd rather be happy than right. Like, I want this to be, then prove me wrong, be an amazing pay-per-view and I'll eat crow. Or it's like, oh, we need a drop of that, my favorite Triple H promo.
Oh, well.
Anywho,
there's plenty of time. There's plenty of time for that. There's plenty of shows for that.
I wish a great pay-per-view, and then we come back and talk about how great it was.
Yeah, and well, we know that Ed's upset already because his favorite person's not on the pay-per-view.
Yeah, Darby Allin sucks.
What's in your head? In your head.
Zombie.
Reagan smash. Josh. Oh. All right. Nikki, this has been a fun one. We went a little longer.
I know. I feel like we went on tangents that we didn't think we were going to go on. You played so many drops for so many people.
We're doing all the drops. All the drops for all things. Because we just feel so blessed from everything. Hashtag blessed. But we're not going to do the drop. That being said, we're back here on Tuesday. So we want all of you back here on Tuesday. We're going to discuss the whole year in wrestling, 2024. Some of the names we'll discuss, not all the names. Who had a great year?
Are you really into blondes?
They just happened to.
So many blondes.
Some people take better photos than others.
Blondes. So many blondes on that baby.
They're just like, I don't know. They have good bangs.
They really have a type.
They have good bangs.
It's banger after banger after banger.
You did yourself. You did that to yourself.
I was like, I have to go upstairs. I have to go back to work.
Shame on you. So we are back here Tuesday, Christmas Eve. No, not Christmas Eve. New Year's Eve. Different holiday. You're back here, New Year's Eve, talking about the year in wrestling. So we hope you join us then. So let's take us out like we always do with Nikki's favorite wrestler and our not so CCO.
Thought we had a spectacular event tonight. very excited that so far everybody seems to have come out unscathed. You know, banged up, bumps and bruises, but nobody seriously injured, which I always hold my breath on these events. You want to see people have the best outing that they can possibly have and make memories, but do it safely. And we were able to do that tonight.
Able to do that tonight. It's about 2.5 months without incident, so very proud about that. Glad we could do that. But until next time, you do not have to go home.
But you can stay here.